Your Honor, let me just quickly respond to that. First of all, I'm a little concerned by listening to my brother counsel read from what looks like a scripted message that doesn't seem to deal with any issues because there's been no motion to compel that's been served on us relating to those answers. There's been nothing filed with the court. Instead, my brother counsel is reading from a script for what I'm guessing is some other purpose. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to just...
Attorney Waters, excuse me for interrupting, but maybe we'll take this as a 9C conference. You heard what he's looking for. What do you say to it?
Your Honor, actually, I don't know what he's talking about, to be candid. I think that Karen's statements have been consistent, and they're certainly consistent with the lawsuit that's been filed in Bristol County. So my brother counsel is going to have to be more specific about what he thinks is inconsistent. I don't think it is at all. And that's usually why motion practice is a good idea.
Attorney Diller, I guess we'll consider the 9C conference conducted and file whatever motion you want to file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone from, what's the status of the discovery with CNC Hospitality and GNS? Attorney Diller, did you receive responses?
I did. Well, both parties had reached out to us over the history of this case. We may have propounded that discovery even before, while the criminal matter was going on, maybe around the time of the stay. But they then reached out to us at separate occasions and were very upfront about the fact that they're compiling discovery and needed more time. We allowed that additional time. Yesterday, we received some discovery, which I think I indicated to you I have not reviewed yet, but we have received discovery from both bars. One bar, and forgive me for not recognizing which one is which, one bar may have sent me some preliminary discovery a couple weeks ago and then supplemented it yesterday. The other bar sent me a batch of discovery yesterday, none of which have I had an opportunity at this stage to review.
Okay. Anyone else want to offer anything on behalf of any of the parties?
Yeah.
Attorney Hassett on here for Waterfall?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Hassett for Waterfall.
Afternoon. Do you want to offer anything?
Your Honor, I would just say that with respect to the discovery, we have in fact responded to the plaintiff's discovery after an extension was granted. We did the interrogatory answers. Those have been complete. The document responses were, as Attorney Diller indicated, in 2 stages. We completed that as well. We have yet to propound discovery ourselves at this point. Obviously, there's a history in this case that occurred on through 2 criminal trials. It was our approach to see what documents were produced from the various keeper depositions and the other document requests among the parties. And then from there, after looking through the documents, make a decision as to what more pointed interrogatory answers we would propound. And as was indicated earlier, we've got a fairly lengthy discovery on a average tracking order, which permits discovery through next August. So in terms of our own discovery and our plan on propounding it, we were hopeful that we'd be able to wade through some of the voluminous documents first.
Who's here for McCarthy's? Is it Attorney Smith? Clerk Donovan, is Attorney Smith?
She is, yeah.
That would
Attorney
be the right.
Smith,
Yes, Your Honor, I asked her
yeah.
to unmute.
Yes, Your
Good
Honor.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Tamara Smith for CF McCarthy's. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Yes, as has been stated, we did produce several hundred pages of documents yesterday, have responded fully to the plaintiff's answers, to the plaintiff's interrogatory requests. And like counsel for Waterfall, there's, as indicated in this call today, over a million or about a million pages and documents that are forthcoming. So the thought here would be to see what is there so that there's not duplication of effort and additional requests put out that are already answered by what is already forthcoming.
Okay. Anything else from Ms. Reed's side, Mr. Waters?
Nothing from our side, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney Diller, anything else from the plaintiffs?
no, I think that, but I do expect that we will convene a 9C amongst all the parties after this to discuss what efforts, if any, will be made to consolidate discovery on the other pending matter, only to ensure that we not worry about there being information that is discovered in the other case relevant to our case, which would prejudice us if we're not privy to.
Well, it's great you're trying to agree to something, but again, I think it's difficult to have an agreement without knowing who's going to be involved in the other case, who the attorneys are. Attorney Waters, what's the status of the notice to the governmental entities?
Yeah, you talking about the presentment letters, Your Honor?
Yes.
I think if they weren't sent yesterday, they'll be being sent today. And we've had conversations with both counsel for those entities about having a shortened presentment period. We expect agreement on that. I got my fingers crossed, but we expect agreement on that, in which case we won't be delayed in processing whatever procedural or motions that those parties want to make in that Bristol County case.
What's the status on the service on the individual defendants in the Bristol case?
The answer is I don't know, Your Honor. I haven't received information where we've gotten good service, and if we've not gotten it, I expect to get it shortly.
I can.
My colleague Aaron Rosenberg can specify to that.
Your Honor, we've got counsel for, I believe, 2 of the individual defendants in the Bristol County case. One counsel has already agreed to accept service. The other counsel suggested that he will. We're just going back and forth, so we're hopeful we'll be able to get acceptance from the majority of those defendants and only have to serve a couple. So we don't foresee any delays on that front.
Attorney Diller, you talked about consolidation. Attorney Waters said they weren't going to move it this time. You, Attorney Diller, intend on moving to consolidate at this point?
We had discussed so the answer is yes, for purposes of discovery only, just to the extent that that works itself out. There was discussion during that entire motion practice that took place over the last 2 months. The counsel for these other parties had all reached out. So we have spoken with all of the counsel who were involved in the Bristol case because they were apparently going to be brought into this case. So there was that discussion with them. So I do know who that counsel is. I have the briefing from those counsel. There was discussion within some of the briefing that it should be consolidated for purposes of discovery purposes. I don't know where things stand because it's now outside in the Bristol case, but I do expect that there's awareness of who all the lawyers are, and we could potentially discuss options. you know, obviously we had wanted this to all resolve itself months ago. And unfortunately, it wasn't until Monday night that the defendants withdrew their motion and started on a different track with a different mindset. But we will happily be proactive in trying to get that moving in the best direction for our case in the wrongful death case.
How much time do you think that would take?
Well, what I don't know, Your Honor, is whether some of the parties are going to move to dismiss in the Bristol case and whether that will hold up the discovery there. That's the big unknown. So I wish I had that crystal ball, and I don't today. But I anticipate that there are some overlapping parties that may stay in the Bristol case, to which we'll need discovery there, and that discovery will overlap. I want to be clear that we're agreeing for discovery purposes to avoid prejudice. We are tabling whether or not these matters need to be tried together. That will only be known once we have full understanding of what comes out in discovery.
Okay. Well, let's pick a date in December so we can find out where the Bristol action is at and find out what other discovery issues remain so we can try and sort through those. Do you anticipate filing a motion to compel, Attorney Diller?
Yeah, the interrogatory answer, yes.
Okay, so let's pick a date for that. A date in December. When can you have the motion served?
We can start working on that right away. Within probably the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is my is what I believe we could shoot for.
Okay, that's December 2nd. Gives the defendant till December 12th. Let's pick a date the next week. We'll have a hearing on the motion to compel and a further status hearing. How about December 18th? That an issue for anyone?
Your Honor, it is for me. I have a pre-existing hearing scheduled that day, but the 16th and the 17th, I'm open.
All right. How about
If
the
I could,
16th or the 17th?
if I could have just a moment, Your Honor, to confer with my client. The 16th and 17th don't work for Ms. Reed. Either the 18th, I know that that's bad for Mr. Waters. The 19th would work.
19th works. for
Attorney
me.
Jackson. Attorney Jackson, I can understand Ms. Reed wants to be there at every matter, but I don't necessarily think there are constitutional issues relative to the civil case.
I agree. I'm not suggesting that she has a constitutional right to be there, but I know that she wishes to participate in her own defense, and she would like to be there if we can accommodate her schedule.
Right, but if the court starts having to accommodate every party's schedule, it would grind the courts to a halt.
I understand. I get that. There's only one defendant, though. So, for what that's worth.
There are other defendants in this case.
Your Honor, for what it's worth, I can also do December 19th.
Will it be remote, Your Honor, by Zoom? I have things that week, but if it's going to be remote by Zoom, then I can try to, I can definitely be available and then not worry about moving things around on the week of the 15th.
What do we have that day? 19th. Hang on 1 second. I have to have the clerk check something.
Yes, Your Honor?
No, I'm checking the schedule here, Clerk Donovan.
The schedule there, okay.
18th Friday, we just have, basically the morning, Your Honor. Afternoon's wide open.
Okay. How about 2 o'clock on December 19th? We'll schedule it virtually for now.
Thank you.
That works, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we'll see everyone then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so just for the record, this matter is continued to December 19th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for the motion to compel and further status, and this hearing will be held by Zoom at this point in time. Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.